How are we doing, guys? And welcome back to another player ratings video. Some of you might be coming off the Just Joe channel. I've just spoken about the game with Mr. Wayman and 𝐿𝐉𝐻𝐈𝐍. And yeah, it's going to get even more joyful now because we're talking about Leicester 2, Leeds United 0. A little bit about everything, really. We're not just going to talk about player ratings. I think we can't just talk about player ratings after an event like that yesterday. An event's quite a polite one because I think... you could have started it with maybe a hit show without the S at the start. Is probably how you could probably start it. But yeah, guys, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done already, and the subscribe button as well. And before we get into this feast, where we'll talk to you once again about our fantastic sponsors, Football Prizes. We are back in partnership with Football Prizes. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Let me just try and share this screen with you so you can see the latest prize on offer. Maybe 1 second, guys. Hopefully you can see. There we go. Can you see that, Phil?
Yes.
So, guys, what a massive game this is now. There's no hiding from it. This is an absolutely huge game. Leeds United versus Fulham. The chance to get our season back on track. It's absolutely huge now. I can't believe how big this game is now. And I think everyone in the chat will agree. Football Prizes are at the moment offering a chance for hospitality tickets for Leeds United versus Fulham at £175 per ticket on Sunday at 2 p.m. All food and drinks are included with this tickets, including the ticket seats, of course, for the game, by the goal line for the match. And for the full package details, you can see the bottom of the page here. I will leave the link in the description down below as well, but do check it out, guys. There's 10 in stock at this moment in time. If you are interested, then do check out Football Prizes. It's a fantastic package and for what is an absolutely massive game on Sunday. So do check it out, guys. And yeah, check it out. If you are interested, the link will be in the description down below. And we will, check it out, guys, off the fantastic Football Prizes. So, Phil, do you want to go into play ratings first and foremost? Or do we want to... Or do you want to just talk in general? I mean, your take on the game.
I think it's probably the same as most people's, mate. Really frustrated, but to be honest, by half time, I'd already got to the point where I'd stopped being angry and started finding it slightly funny. You get to a stage where it's either laugh or cry, don't you? And it's weird from where we were on Sunday. I left Ellen Road having had a ridiculously good day and enjoyed the game. It was just a brilliant.
You did. You were pissed at like 12 o'clock when I saw you.
Yeah, I was fucking steaming, mate. I can't complain. But yeah, it was a great game on Sunday, and I left sort of being a little bit more behind Marsh than I had been for a while, despite 6 games without a win. But at least in that game, I saw 6 games without a win was what did for Marcelo Bielsa last year. And the main criticisms of Bielsa were like failure to adapt and not being able to have a plan B. And I saw a little bit of those things against Arsenal. The vast majority of that game for me was the 4-3-3 that you've been teasing me about all season. And it was the first time I'd seen it look so blatantly, obviously a 4-3-3. I liked the way that we played. I'm not going to be the first person to say that we deserved a hell of a lot more from that game. The fact that we left without a point, let alone 3, really fucking cut me because I genuinely thought that we deserved to win the game. Take out the VAR stuff, take out the drama. We played well. And the previous 5 games going into that had been more and more boring to watch, and the football was dire, and we just weren't creating anything in the bits that we weren't creating. We can't finish our own dinner, but it didn't look like that against Arsenal. So you kind of hoped, because of what Arsenal was, that we'd go into this game against a team that were bottom of the league, won once all season, and you'd take some sort of confidence into the game and try and carry things on. And I don't want to go two-footed into Marsh because I know a lot of people will, and a lot of people, rightfully so, will be unhappy with a lot of what happened last night. But I think the main frustration comes from with the Arsenal game. First of all, the way we set up. Second of all, the players and the team that played well, and just the changes that were made. I think we all can agree that the Strout for Firpo one was happening anyway due to injury. But after that, maybe Bamford was for Rodrigo was something we'd all probably go, okay, that's fair enough. Probably the right decision. But after that, the other two changes, Cooper out for Llorente and Harrison out for Somerville, would we necessarily all have made those changes? I know he's got his reasons, but I think the changes to something that worked so well against such a good team, against a team that we really needed to take advantage of. I can get the justifications, but you probably already heard the arguments against those justifications in numerous different places today anyway. But yeah, even during the game, the substitutions just got gradually more and more confusing. And I think even in the Arsenal game, as much as I accept...
Phil, just on that, in terms of the changes, could you work out what system we were playing towards the end of the game? We seemed to go to a 3-4-1-2 towards the end of the game.
To be honest, mate, the whole game looked like a reversion to penis ball, and I'd got really, really bored of penis ball when it was in action last season. And then I was really...
just clarify, just in case there is anyone new, what you mean by penis ball, because out of context, that's like
penis ball. Penis ball is 4-2-2-2, the most narrow formation in the world, which I think I described it last season as, if I was to show my 6-year-old who doesn't like football at all, against my better judgment, I try so hard, but he's not interested. If I show him a football pitch and I say, look, this is our formation, he would point to the massive green gaps on either side of the shaft and tell me, well, why is there nobody stood there? That's what penis ball is, a very narrow lack of width. And the thing that stuck out a lot to me last night, and I'm sure we'll get onto it with the lack of width thing, Rasmus Christensen made quite a lot of good runs forward and was ignored every single time. And it's just going down the middle all the time. It was painful to watch at times.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get into the ratings then. Meslier, could he do any better on either of the goals? What general performance? I mean, I just want to see where we're going in terms of how low we're going. And I think Melier's a good barometer because he wasn't the worst player on the pitch.
No.
He's about standards. I mean, what kind of numbers would you be thinking for Meslier? We can kind of go off there, I guess, in terms of the rest of the players, really. Because I would happily start with like ones and then like go to like -2s if we need to, -3s. But let's see, what would you go for with Meslier? And guys in the comments as well, please let us know what you go for with Meslier and we'll flash the comments up. Phil, take it over.
I started on a 4, mate. I don't think he can necessarily do too much better with either goal. And I wouldn't say his shot stopping was necessarily the biggest problem last night. But I think, in all honesty, the distribution was terrible at times last night. And don't get me wrong, if you've got Diego Llorente as your out ball, you probably would feel a little bit nervy about where you put in this ball. But yeah, generally speaking, every time he kicked the ball, it was either out of play for a throw-in or to one of their team, or to put Diego Llorente, of all people, who doesn't need to be under any more pressure, under a shitload more pressure. I just didn't like it. I don't know whether it's instructed that that's what he had to do, but I think one of the comments earlier as well referred to a couple of crosses coming in that he could easily have just caught it and he started punching them out. At the back in general last night, it looked chaotic, and towards the end of the game, they're all arguing with each other, and it's just not a good look. I think Meslier probably won't get the lowest mark out of the back five. I'll be surprised if he does. But yeah, not his best night, unfortunately.
Okay. 4 is quite low compared to everyone, I think. 𝐷 gone 4.5. I mean, I'd have probably gone more 5s, to be honest, on Meslier. I think 4, you'd have to say he kind of played a part in the defeat. I don't really think he did, to be fair. I don't think it really would have made any difference.
To bump up.
Do you want to go? I think let's go to 5 on Meslier and kind of build from there. I think
we'll go down from there. Fine.
I'm not going 4.5. I'm not going 4.5. 4 there. Okay. Right, okay, let's move on to Christensen. I will say about Christensen, just my little take on Christensen. Yeah. When he got into not goal scoring positions, into that final third, and we got the ball into him, he put in low-key 2 or 3 really good deliveries. There's one that Sinisterra doesn't attack at 0-0. There's one that Bamford does attack, but totally misses with his head. I don't know what Paddy's trying to do with that. But defensively, obviously, on that Barnes' second goal, Rasmus. I don't know. That's my take on it. When we get Rasmus Christensen into goal scoring, attacking positions, his delivery and ball striking is actually really good, I think. I think that's his strength. I think Rasmus Christensen was brought to this football club for his attacking qualities. He showed it in Austria. He has qualities going forward into the Denmark national team. He has qualities in those areas. For me now, Phil, against teams that sit in, play a low block, that we can't press, that can allow us to have a lot of the ball, we need to get more out that right-hand side to break down these teams. And Rasmus Christensen's crossing from kind of like the half spaces, deep, into the strikers, into the wingers, I think we've got to make more use of. I do think. I think if you're going to get the best out of Rasmus Christensen, I think currently we're showing all of Rasmus Christensen's weaknesses and amplifying them massively with the way we play at this moment in time, personally. But let us know, Phil, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I gave him a 6, mate, which is the highest I've gone for anyone. I wouldn't have necessarily given him man of the match if you're going to give anyone man of the match. But yeah, I thought he's on a good run of building up some consistent improvement in his performances. Not his best game, obviously, by any stretch. The last two were both better. But the thing for me was going forward, and I said it briefly before, the amount of times that the ball just went too narrow. And I think people, if you're marking him low, maybe don't see the runs that he was making to give the option in the right wing area, especially in the second half as well, weirdly enough, and the second half was worse. Generally speaking, I actually thought if we would have used that width and given him the ball, we would have created more. I thought he made some really good runs, and I don't think you can really pin anything on him for the second goal because it comes from our left-hand side, which is the most ridiculous part of the starting lineup last night in general anyway. But they targeted that side of the pitch on purpose to bring those two together, which obviously then pulled Koch across, it pulled Rasmus across. So if anything,
Dennis Pratt as well. I mean, Dennis Pratt is not a particularly great footballer either, and we made him look like Messi.
Mate, it's because they targeted. I mean, if you would have asked any Leeds fan before the start of the game last night, where is our weakest position on the pitch, they would have been able to tell you that two players that shouldn't be starting any football match for Leeds United, starting right next to each other on the left side of defence, just pin the ball between there and you'll score. And they did. I don't think you have to do too much research into that. Fair play. They found the weakness and they just went for it. And it's a shame we couldn't do the same to them, considering they had so many of their better players missing last night. They had absolutely the bare bones of their squad. But to be honest, all Leicester ever need against Leeds is to put one man out and they will always win. Harvey Barnes, every time. I fucking hate the guy. I'm bored of him.
Good player though, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, mate, I wish we'd have just fucking signed him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Sinisterra can do for us what Harvey Barnes does for Leicester. If we give him the ball in the right areas, he almost scores a brilliant goal, but we'll get on to Sinisterra. Listen, we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to talk about the centre-backs. I don't want to do it, but Robin Koch.
Together or separately?
Let's just do it separately.
Okay.
That's Robin Koch's worst game in the league shirt. He comes off at half-time. It just never went right for Robin Koch yesterday. Literally everything he tried, even playing out the back. He's trying that chipped pass, but there's no one to play it to because we don't have that natural width on that side. Yes, we had Somerville. But Somerville, I don't think wants to be chasing the ball in the same way that Sinisterra does. I think he's a different type of player. I think he's more of a ball-to-feet player to me, who can run in behind, but I just don't think that out ball we tried to play was ever on, really. And then defensively, it was just... I mean, the goal, it's in slow motion, that first goal, really. But I don't think it helps.
Put that more on Koch or Rocker, though. Who do you pin it on more? Who's more responsible?
Listen, Mark Rocker should do better on the goal, but, it's quite uncharacteristic for me for Mark Rocker to lose the ball there. In that kind of situation, it's not something you see Mark Rocker do very often. With Robin Koch, I still think there's another gear for Robin Koch. I still think, certainly yesterday, but I still think he's got to find that little bit of daftness, I think is probably a word for it. He has daft moments in him, Robin Koch. I think for most of the game, 89 minutes, I think he's fine, but then he'll have a daft moment like last night. But I mean, last night he wasn't great at all, really, but it's slow motion, that goal, really, in terms of how it all happens. And I mean, I will get on to Mark Rocker. We're not talking about Mark Rocker yet.
Yeah.
We'll get on to Mark Rocker. People know I like Mark Rocker, but
I was just trying to sort of maybe add a bit of balance and see if it.
It can't just be. It wasn't just on one player that goal.
Yeah.
Not, 2 or 3 people were at fault for that first goal, even though Mark Rocker makes an awful mistake. But Robin Koch had his worst game in a Leeds shirt for me. And I put it above the Man United away game when he was man and marking Bruno Fernandes. I think it was worse than that, to be honest. I really do think it's worse than that. And I don't think it helps Robin Koch, the fact that Liam Cooper didn't start the game. I didn't understand that one. I don't like changing the back 4, especially when defensively we looked a little bit better last 3 or 4 games. Statistically, on the eye, I think we looked a little bit better. But Robin Koch, Phil, take it away on Robin Koch. Am I being harsh?
You wanted me to give a number and then you can give your number based on my number?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to use the force.
Okay. I went 4 for Robin Koch. Obviously, you bumped my Meslier one up, so that I feel like is reasonable now. Look, there's no defending it. I'm not so sure I'd say worst performance in a Leeds shirt. I'm sure we could probably find one worse, but definitely up there with one of his worst games. But I would like to caveat it by saying I think he has had a very good season for us. I think he's been very much by a distance our best central defender this year. I'm not counting Pascal because he's not played at centre-half. But out of the people that have played at centre-half this year, no competition. He's been the best player in that back 4, most consistent, and he's had an off night. There was times where it didn't look bad, I'd say, but there was also a lot of that first half that was questionable. And you can't obviously clear him of any blame for the own goal because he's put one in the back of his own net. Could he have gone with the other foot? Who knows? But he has to play that ball. Harvey Barnes is going to tap it in if he doesn't anyway. And for me, I do pin more blame on that goal on Mark Rocker. I don't think he has to give the ball away there. I think it's needed.
Yeah, I agree with that. By the way, guys, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Mark Rocker's mostly at fault for that goal. And I do like Robin Koch. Don't get it twisted. I do like Robin Koch. And twisted and Koch's probably not a great choice of word order, but, I will still put most of the blame on Mark Rocker. I just want to point that out before people attack me in the comments.
Attack him. But no,
anyway, but
But no, with Robin Koch, I mean, I'm assuming the logic behind taking him off was because he was on a yellow card and they need him for the weekend. But even then, I'd still have been more tempted to hook Llorente just because he's Llorente and leave Koch on and trust him. It wasn't his best night, but I think 1 is a bit harsh and 0s, 1s and 2s is a bit of a stretch. Like, I don't think he had like a full-on Diego Llorente twat the ball into the back of his own net 3 times in one game kind of meltdown. It's an own goal, which I don't really think too many people could do too much different. They've got to play that ball because Harvey Barnes is going to score anyway. And you'll see Llorente nearly bags 3 of them in the second half just by not knowing where the fuck he's kicking the ball.
Okay, let's move on to Llorente because you seem desperate to get on to Llorente, so I'm going to let you just talk.
I made no intention of moving on to Llorente.
You kind of did. Go on, talk to me about. Let me just caveat one thing on Diego Llorente. I know everyone's going to want to say he can't caveat things with Llorente. He's not. He's probably like let's be honest. He's probably going to get the most criticism here because that is just the way things are at this moment in time. But I don't think it's helping Diego Llorente playing on the left of the back 2 of the 2 centre backs. I think it doesn't help things at all.
He did play on the right of the back 2 when Cooper came on, though.
That's true, actually. Yes, it's true. But first half, and in general, that was this is how much my head has gone, isn't it? I wouldn't even be able to tell you what the subs were now. I can't even remember the subs. I'm going to have to look at the team again to do the subs bit of this player rating.
I can help you out with that bit. Don't
worry. It doesn't help matters that he plays on the left. I think if you're going to play Diego Llorente, play him on the right. I still think Robin Koch is for me way ahead of Llorente in the pecking order. I will still say that, but it doesn't help. I think it's a bit of a pointless thing now. We can see the angles playing on his left foot rather than his right foot. it doesn't help matters. It really doesn't help matters either.
It was a car crash waiting to happen. As soon as that team sheet came out an hour before the game, and you saw the names 𝐼𝐻𝐻 and 𝐻𝐻𝐻, and you knew them two were going to be next to each other as well. You knew for a fact it wasn't going to be Koch on the left-hand side. It was just a car crash waiting to happen. And I don't think either of them should be starting games for Leeds United, but they absolutely shouldn't both be starting games for Leeds United together, because teams are just going to pick up on exactly what Leicester did last night and just go, well, that's a weak as shit area of their team. Let's just focus on hitting that as many times as we can. Because you would. It's like if you're in a boxing match with someone who's, if someone's in a boxing match with someone with a broken arm or one eye socket's just dangling to bits, you go, I'll hit that then. That is what Leeds United are when you've got 𝐼𝐻𝐻 and 𝐻𝐻𝐻 on the left side of defence. For me, Koch obviously scored an own goal, but 𝐼𝐻𝐻 could have easily twatted at least 2 or 3 into the back of his own net last night. There was similar positions where it's.
I'm genuinely honest. I don't remember that. I genuinely don't remember doing that.
There's one specifically where it comes off his shin inside our 6-yard box and narrowly misses the post.
I feel like this didn't happen. I feel like this is just a Phil agenda. This.
No, mate.
Guys in the comments, people in the comments, you're always right in these situations. I have an agenda at times. Phil definitely has an agenda at times. Did Diego 𝐼𝐻𝐻 almost score 3 own goals last night, or is Phil over-exaggerating a little bit?
At least 1 or 2. So I'm claiming.
Well, that's changed from 3 to 1 or 2 now.
I'm claiming any. Either way, like my favourite moment of last night, and at the start I was saying about how I'd got to the point where I was beyond laugh or cry. Second half last night when 𝐼𝐻𝐻's gone for an overhead kick, and the overhead kick has hit Patrick Bamford, and it's not even got to the net. That's the most Leeds United moment of the season. I actually really enjoyed that to an extent where I was pissing myself laughing. I don't want my centre-half doing overhead kicks and just generally being mental and putting things out for throw-ins for no reason every 2 seconds. He's mental. I don't think that was his worst performance for Leeds by a long, long way. We've seen so much worse. So I went 4 for 𝐼𝐻𝐻. I didn't think it was actually that bad from him.
Okay, moving on.
Let's go to 𝐻𝐻𝐻.
Talk to me about Junior 𝐻𝐻𝐻, Phil.
Mate, I've told you I'm not angry. You may as well bring yourself back on. I'm not going to vent. I give him a 4 as well, and the same reasons as I've just said.
Give us a vent, Phil. Give us a vent.
Mate, I'm
surprised at this. I thought this would be a laugh because whenever I do this, you enter against Brentford. When I did the solo layout, I left you there for about 10 minutes on 𝐼𝐻𝐻.
Yeah, I was angry. I'm not angry today. I don't care.
You were definitely angry, mate. You were definitely angry. I thought we were going to get a bit of a Phil.
Mate, I'm beyond caring. In all honesty, like I'm
we
not
care
angry.
though. We care. Come on. You care.
Whether
you like it or not, you care.
Of course I care, but I'm not going to get angry anymore. Like, what else could I get? I knew at half-time last night, there's no way we're coming back into this. There's no point putting me on my own. You're not getting a reaction. He's had a 4, and I've already given you all the reasons why. Now you talk.
He wants to talk about you and 𝐻𝐻𝐻. He wants to talk about 𝐻𝐻𝐻.
You want me to get in trouble, so you don't have to.
No, I don't. I was only messing there. I thought you were building up towards something. But no, you're at a different stage of the upset cycle. It's different. I'm at the angry stage. You're at the kind of like.
I went past that at half time.
What stage are you at? You're at the
acceptance.
No, you're a bit before acceptance. You're a little bit before it. You're what's the word for it? I don't know. You're further along the line than me. I'll probably be. If we don't get a good result against Fulham or Liverpool, I'll be further along the line than you. But Ross, I'm very surprised by this. I was just going to leave Phil to it because when I do the solo layout, I don't interrupt Phil. But it is what it is.
You've all heard it before.
There was nothing really different you could say. Turley is definitely echoed Phil's thoughts there. So let's talk about the midfield.
Back on Sunday. It's fine. It'll all be fine.
Right. Midfield.
Yeah.
Tyler Adams, I think if we're going off the basis of what numbers we're given so far, Tyler Adams 5, 6. I thought was good-ish. Okay, no, not good, not good. Okay, showed tenacity. Still wanted the ball, didn't hide. Potential captain material. I will genuinely say that now. I think Tyler Adams is potential captain material. I'll go 5. I can't give a 6. I can't give a 6. I'm sorry. It's just I can't really give anyone a 6.
I gave him a 6.
Okay. That's quite unlike you to give higher numbers. So far, you've given the numbers I had them ahead. You've gone higher on
I've given 2 6s.
every single one.
Yeah, I've given 2 6s.
How have you got 2 6s out of this? How have you got 2 6s out of this, man?
I told you, mate.
You gave Brendan Aronson a 7 for that performance against Chelsea, and now you're giving Tyler Adams a 6.
I gave him a 9 against Chelsea, didn't I?
Whatever game it was, there were people in the comments will remember this. You gave Brendan Aronson a 7, where everyone else was thinking like 10s in that lot.
I'm not sure it was a 7.
Whatever it was something around that.
Or something.
I wasn't like, when I get annoyed on this, I do tend to joke about getting annoyed, but I was getting genuinely annoyed because you only gave him a 7 and you were justifying it. I was getting genuinely annoyed on that one. But okay, Tyler Adams.
Mate, I like him.
Is he one of our best players? Is he one of our best players?
I think
Let's start with that.
Take away Sinisterra, I think he is our best player, in all honesty. And there was moments last night, I know it was fucking dire from the team in general. And I have a bit of a different take on Marc Roca than you do. I don't see too much there. In all honesty, I kind of thought if in a weird dystopian world where Marcelo Bielsa is here and we're playing 4-1-4-1 again, I actually think Tyler Adams might be able to do a bit of that Kalvin Phillips role. Not in the passing range. The passing range isn't there. But in that destroyer bit, I think I see a lot of Kalvin in him in the way that he goes and snaps into the press, wins the ball back. He's on the left side. He's on the right side. He covers every blade of grass. He's a consistently solid performer. I really like him. A player that me and you scouted a year and a half ago, said we should sign, like being proved right. Clearly knows what he's meant to be doing in this system a lot more than quite a lot of the other players for obvious reasons. He knows Jesse Marsch. He knows Marsch from clubs and just generally knowing him a long time. Yeah. See, Scooby-Doo knows. Yeah.
You make me sound like I wear the pants in this relationship. That's what it sounds like. I really don't like this. I'm going to
that is genuinely the way this relationship works. I just don't give a shit. It's your show.
At this point, you used to get really, really annoyed when I didn't allow you the half marks. Now you don't even attempt it anymore.
I don't give a shit, really mate. I've told you, like you've caught me on a day where I don't give a fuck about anything. If I get hit by a car tomorrow, great. I won't have to go to the Fulham game. It's all fucking wonderful.
Right. Okay.
You start looking worried.
Right. Yeah. So Tyler Adams, I think I really like Tyler Adams. I do genuinely think there's captain material there with Tyler. Marc Roca, okay. Who wants to start? We're going to be probably differing a little bit on Marc. Maybe not so much on this performance.
Not on this
performance. Agree on performance. I mean, performance yesterday was his worst game for Leeds. Not just because of a mistake. I just thought pass selection, quality on the ball. I didn't really feel it was there last night. And I think 3, to be honest. Okay. And I really like Marc Roca. But yeah, I'll give him a 3.
I'm happy to come down and join you on a 3, but I went 4. I didn't go lower than a 4 for anyone. I didn't go higher. Than
Phil, seeing as I'm bossy and I'm the bossy one, I'll let you have whatever number you want on this one.
I don't give a shit, mate. I really don't.
What number do you want to go for on Marc Roca?
You have a 3. I like the 3. I like that you've nailed. Okay. You've got your balls out.
Everyone hear that? Did everyone hear that? Before you call me bossy, did everyone hear that?
Yeah, no, look, I think last night's performance, no one's going to disagree. We're all going to say the same thing. So I'm not going to rehash over that, but I am going to make an overall statement of I don't think he's settled in to this team anywhere near as well as people make out he has. I also don't think the statistic that gets thrown at you is the most progressive passes in the Premier League, more than Kevin De Bruyne. You can make a load of passes going forward, but if they're not creating anything for a team that doesn't score any goals and doesn't create any chances, doesn't matter if you're passing the ball from the centre half area to the centre mid area. I don't see the point of bringing up the stat and just trying to make it fit an argument. For me, I don't think Marc Roca has actually fitted in all that well. I think that I can pick on maybe 3 games I actually think he stood out and looked good. And that's including pre-season for me. I don't think he has settled in anywhere near as well as Adams. I like the two of them together. But I think if Tyler Adams gets suspended and he's not there, I really do fear that we have no one to replace him. Whereas if Marc Roca's not there, as much as Adam Forshaw's made of glass, I think Plitt can do that job. I think Forshaw can do that job. I think Darko Diaby can do that job. Marc Roca, I'm not sold on him yet, I'll be honest.
I disagree, to be honest. I do disagree. But what I will say is I agree on your point about Tyler Adams. I think Tyler Adams has definitely settled in better. I think Marc Roca himself would admit that. I think Tyler Adams, I think expecting anyone to settle in as well as Tyler Adams has is unrealistic, to be honest. I think it's just been a real great success story so far this season in terms of how...
He knows the system, mate. He knows the system. He knows the manager. He's played with some other players before, so he's got that bit of an upper hand anyway. So it's not an alien concept to imagine that was always going to happen. I don't think Marc Roca has settled in quite the way I'd like, but I think there's not enough competition for the pair of them. And Marc Roca, more than Adams, looks like someone that isn't being pushed, to me.
I still think that's our best area of the pitch by a long way. If you're talking about defence, attack, midfield, I still think that's the area of the game where I don't think we're going to lose a game in midfield. I don't think we'll lose a game in midfield like we did last season.
I think you can argue we did lose a game in midfield yesterday because the goal comes...
We didn't lose it in midfield yesterday.
Well, yeah, we lose it from the left back and left centre back.
Okay. In general, though, we lose it because we can't defend their own box. Yeah. We didn't create anything. I don't feel like Leicester were all over us. We lost control of the whole match.
Yes, on target all game, and it was the goal.
Well, that's what point I'm making. I'm saying that last season we lost a lot of games in midfield. When Calvin wasn't there, we lost a lot of games in midfield. I will agree. Roca off the ball isn't... I won't say he's bad because I think he's tenacious, but I don't think he's someone that's going to protect you on the counter-attack. I don't think he's got that speed, or kind of like running power of Tyler Adams, to get back into position. But I think when he's asked to defend a certain zone, I think he's good at doing that. I think he's tenacious. He will put tackle in. But in terms of if he's having to use running power to get back into position all the time, I don't think that is Marc Roca's strength. A bit like Busquets at Barcelona. If you watch a Barcelona game, when Busquets is asked to just mark one zone of the pitch, unbelievable. When he's asked to mark mark 2 players basically and just cover his fullbacks, it's not his game kind of thing. I don't think it's Marc Roca's game, and I don't think that's how we play Marc Roca. I think Adams and Roca share defensive responsibility really well. I do think Marc Roca's better on the ball than Tyler Adams. I think he gives you more on the ball. Yeah. I think with that left foot, I think he just plays. He has that lovely pass over the top, which I think he plays into Sinisterra from time to time. We need to utilise that more. But what I will say is, because we don't have a lot of width in the team, we're not playing to Marc Roca's full strengths, because he might look for that pass over the top, but if there's no pass there that's on, that is a big problem for me. I do think Marc Roca's form's dipped. Yes, I do agree with that. I think his form's dipped. I think he started the season really well. But I think if Marc Roca's the problem in this team, then we're not doing too badly. I think if Marc Roca's... You identify Marc Roca out of all the problems in this team at this moment in time...
Mate, no, I haven't said that's the problem.
Just saying... I don't think Marc Roca should be dropped. I really don't think he should be dropped.
Mate, there's no one to drop him for. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't think there is. And I think... I think he's done. I think he's done okay. I think he's done well. I still think he's been a 7 out of 10 so far this season.
You should be comparing him to Busquets anytime soon.
No, but I think in terms of physicality is what I meant. That's what I meant. You know what I meant, Phil. You know what I meant. Busquets.
I love it when you do your comparison.
Busquets is the best holding midfielder I've ever seen. I would never compare anyone quality-wise to Sergio Busquets ever. No, I wouldn't do that. Calvin's a second. Okay. But Busquets, Busquets is yes, he's one of the best footballers I've ever seen live on a football pitch. And I will say that. I'm saying that into the camera. Unbelievable when you get to watch him live. I'm not comparing it to that. Marc Roca, I think, has been okay. I think he does his role pretty well. You know, his passing stats are good. He's reliable on the ball. Maybe not so much yesterday. I just think he does a good job. I think the thing as well, Phil, last season, we lost so many games not being able to build out the back without Calvin. I don't think our build-up play is that. Last night, it was terrible. Don't get me wrong, it was terrible last night. But last night's an outlier.
I don't even need to. You're arguing against the point that you're making while you're making the point. It's great to watch.
Yeah, I know. But last night, I'll caveat, forget about last night. Just forget about last night. Everything was wrong last night. It was.
Before Arsenal.
But yeah, I mean, we're against Arsenal. Arsenal pressing us high up the pitch, and Adams and Roca.
Six of the last 7 games. Ignore everything I'm about to say. But in 2 of the games, this season we've been really
we've
good.
not had a problem, have we? I don't think we've had a problem in midfield this season. Personally, I don't think we've had a problem. It's not the most. Is it maybe a little bit of a lightweight midfield? But the way we press, I think generally, it works okay in that midfield. I still think it's the best bit of our team at this moment in time, minus Sinisterra's skill. People will disagree with that. Fair enough. I am concerned by Roca's form. It has dropped a little bit. The fact that he's not played a full season for basically 2.5 years, that's a concern as well. Will it start to catch up with him? It's a concern. But for me, he's got a lot more quality on the ball than what we had in that position before.
Yet, has he?
What, sorry?
I don't think he's finished 90 minutes yet, has he?
Yeah, but he's playing. He's not used to playing 60, 70 minutes, and I think it's starting to tell now. I think it is starting to tell, and I think that concerns me, Phil. That does concern me. Let me just say that. But I think Marc Roca over the season has been okay so far. I need to move on because people are getting annoyed now. I apologise, but that is my take on Marc Roca. I think he's a good player for what I want from my midfielder alongside Tyler Adams. Right, Somerville. I think he's a neat and tidy footballer. I think he's a neat and tidy footballer. I just don't think he's quite ready yet. That's my take. I don't think he's quite ready yet. I think he's still more. I still think we need to manage him like we did Jack Clark in that first emerging season, in that kind of respect.
Like selling him to Tottenham for 10 million.
No, you know what I meant. Let's be argumentative. Stop it, Phil. Stop it. I'm going to put a foot down in a minute. I'm walking into that one. I'm going to Jack Clark. Exactly. You know what I meant. Jack Clark, in terms of we gave it a lot of time before we started them in games. And it didn't actually work.
Give him a shitload of Red Bull and just see what happens.
Well, yes, minus the Red Bull. I don't think the point I'm making is I don't think he's ready to start games. I think he's going to make a bigger impact off the bench, like Jack Clark did for Leeds, and like other players have done for Leeds. I don't think he's ready to start games yet on that right hand side. He's better on the left as well. There's no doubt about that. He's better on the left. He's not as good on the right hand side.
You think it was the wrong decision to start him last night?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I think if you're not going to start Harrison, Gnonto should have started for me. He's better on the right hand side than what Somerville is. I think he's more suited to playing there. I can't believe Gnonto isn't getting minutes at this moment in time. I just think we need someone on that right wing, bit of an outlet on that right hand side. Surely got to be Gnonto at this point.
As daft as it sounds, and I'm not exactly.
Or Harrison even.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, ideal choice is Harrison. If there was some sort of weird logic behind why Harrison didn't start that I'm missing, then as much as I don't like the Rodrigo at 10 thing, like just to get Aronson on the right, because I think Aronson's good on the right, I don't think it was the right time.
I agree, I think Aronson's, I think he's actually done well when he's played on the right wing. I don't think it's the ideal option, but
I think it's his best position so far, if I'm honest. Possibly. I think he's played better on the right than he has at 10.
He's got more space, hasn't he, on that right side? He's up against a fullback. He doesn't mind that.
Something I wouldn't mind seeing, I've always kind of poo-pooed it when people have said it before, but the idea of maybe a Joffrey trying it at 10, or if we do see Willy Gnonto, seeing Willy Gnonto in any sort of position that... For me, I think the Somerville decision last night was the wrong one. And like you said, I think he makes more of an impact off the bench. I think we've seen now over the last 2 games this week that the finishing's not quite there. The dribbling is exciting at times, but I just don't think he had much of an impact apart from the one sort of opportunity he had, which just wasn't a very good finish, to be honest. And at the time, that ball through is one of those moments where I kind of thought the ball should have gone to Rasmus on the right instead anyway. And then obviously if Somerville makes the run to the back post, then Rasmus can put it there. But I gave Somerville a 4. Just I didn't think it was a good night for him. I felt bad doing it because first start, you want the young kids to be given this non-existent pathway that gets bullshitted to us all the time, never actually sees anyone get any minutes. But based on last season, I think the pathway was kind of there for Joffy and seems to have been kind of taken away from him so far this season. So I think most Leeds fans would prefer to see that pathway there for Joffy Gelhardt. And if that means try him at 10, move Aronson to the right, play Sinisterra on the left, and then Bamford up front, I think people would take that.
What about Glick from the 10 role? I think this might not be a popular opinion to have, but I genuinely think Glick has actually played well when he has got minutes in that 10 role.
Good season.
I wouldn't say good season because he's not played. He's hardly played.
No, but when he has played, he's been good. He's changed the games when he's come on.
Let us know in the comments, guys. I mean, is it just me and Phil who are saying this? But I think low key when Glick, he's not played for a while actually. But start the season, that Wolves game. You go back to that. Obviously, I know it was only Barnsley, but I thought it was a 10 out of 10 in that Barnsley game. I genuinely do. With the way he played that Barnsley game, he was the best player on the pitch by a mile. I know it's only Barnsley, but he's hardly played since that, which I find a bit bizarre. Is that an option as well? Aronson, Glick, Harrison on the left, and maybe just try Sinisterra, our best goal scorer, our best player through the middle and closest to goal. I mean, is that an option too? It's this is a good point.
It's better than Rodrigo at 10, isn't it? It's better than Rodrigo at 10, and it's better.
He's more suited to it. He's more that type of profile of player. We saw that first season under Bielsa when he scored basically. He basically almost scored or assisted all the time, didn't he? That first couple of months under Bielsa, and listen, he evolved as a player to play a little bit deeper, but he's attacked that box really, really well. He can strike a ball. You're thinking we're lacking goals at this moment in time. He wants someone to take a chance. Someone to get chances. I think I want Glick kind of running onto it. I think the fact he can press from the front, he's a bit of a leader as well. I think he's definitely a leader. This is fair off Dale in terms of how much he can play when he does play, but the fact we've got 5 subs on the bench, it's an option for me. It's worth trying. Surely now at this point, it's worth trying something different. At this moment in time, the team's too heavily weighted on Luis Sinisterra to score goals or create something out of nothing. Already it feels like last season.
Sinisterra is beginning to look a lot like Rafinha did last season.
Exactly.
The same person.
Listen, I think Rafinha, I wouldn't compare it to Rafinha yet. I think it's early days to say that.
I mean it's in more the reliance thing.
Yeah, I understand that.
Pablo Hernandez from the Championship. He's Rafinha from the first 2 seasons in the Premier League. If you don't know what you're doing, just give it to him and see.
You go back to Ross McCormack under Brian McDermott. You can go back a long way. So, does he score? No. No. All right. Okay. That's basically that kind of thing. Yeah. But the thing is with Sinisterra is that I think it's a bigger problem now because I think Rafinha's gone to Barcelona. Rafinha had pretty much all of Europe after him in the summer. I think Rafinha's a better player than Sinisterra at this moment in time. I think Sinisterra's got a lot of potential. He could be as good as Rafinha. There's certain qualities he gives you that are better than Rafinha for me. But in terms of the whole package, the fact that Rafinha could dictate a game on his own, I'm not sure I've quite seen like a 10 out of 10 game from Sinisterra yet. I'm thinking of Rafinha, West Ham away last season. He was unplayable in that game. The first half of last season when he scored like 10 in 12 or something like that, the first bit of the season, and was basically dragged us on his own. I'm not sure I've seen that level yet off Sinisterra. I'm not sure it's fair to expect that off Sinisterra, considering the guy's gone to Barcelona. He's that good. But that's a problem to me. If we're relying on Sinisterra in the same way we did Rafinha, when he's maybe not quite the same level of player yet, that is a problem, Phil. Isn't it? It's a problem.
It's one of many. Mate, it is a problem, but it might not be a problem for much longer if we don't win on Sunday, put it that way.
Yeah, but the thing is, we'll still be reliant on Sinisterra.
What, when we get the new manager in?
Unless the new manager goes for a totally different approach or whatever, or if there is a new manager, I don't know. I still feel the way we're kind of weighted at this moment in time. We've not got a lot of attacking threat on the other side of the pitch. We've got a lot of number 10s and a lot of left wingers, but not much on the right and not much up front. I mean, in terms of depth. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be like that for a lot of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, mate. Look, it is what it is, but I feel like we're drifting away from the player ratings part of this.
Yeah, we are. I'm just getting really sad and upset.
Yeah, in terms of...
I miss Rafinha. I miss him.
Are we going there?
I miss him, Phil. I miss him.
No, the feeling, mate.
I saw a picture with Rafinha and 𝐉𝐻𝐈𝐍. Just, oh man, it's.
If you want a minute to cry, I can.
No, I don't. Because I like Marshall, I like Sinisterra, to be fair, and I'm not going to be a knee-jerk fan. I'm not going to be a knee-jerk football fan. That was just me. Anyway, I'm going to exit soda later because Phil's bottled this. Right, player ratings. Who did we get up to?
I don't know, mate. I think we were on Adams and Rocker, and then you just kind of fucked off somewhere, and I just let you go.
Made like the whole chat cry because we haven't got Rafinha anymore. But what a team we would be if we had Rafinha and Sinisterra in the same team.
They wouldn't fucking start the same team anyway. One of them would get benched, man.
Right, so but this is what happens. You know, we've lost a really key player in the team who a lot of our attacking output was all built around. And you can't expect a player, you know, the players coming in to replicate someone who's gone to Barcelona. It's like me saying to you, Phil, okay, you know, we've sold
Joe Wayman.
Yeah, we sold Joe Wayman. I want you to play like Joe Wayman. You know, it's not fair.
I played with Joe Wayman. I'm confident I can do that bit.
All right, Brownie. Then, to be fair, I want you to finish like I want you to finish like Brownie. You know, it's not realistic. You know, it's that's you know.
I could become a lot thinner and quicker.
I could give you that. Decent, but, you know. Anyway, right. Let's get some numbers in now. We're rambling now at this point. Let's get some numbers in. So
I think we were on Aronson. No, we did.
Numbers now.
We did Somerville. So we've still got Aronson, Sinisterra, and Bamford to go, and then the sub.
Okay, I actually went a little bit higher
as well, just for the shits and gigs.
I actually went a little bit higher on Somerville, to be fair. I went for a 5. Maybe I'm being generous. I don't know. Right. Aronson. 5. Actually, no. First half, I thought he was okay, first half, but kind of faded.
I went 5. So, yeah. Let's meet in the middle.
Let's agree on that. Harrison. Not Harrison.
He didn't start, mate.
What that is. Sinisterra.
Again, 6. I went 6. I think one of my favourite moments was when Sinisterra runs about 60 yards and no Leeds player bothers to even try running with him, and he ends up having a shot that comes off the bar, and there's literally only one Leeds player within 20 yards of him.
What a goal that'd been as well.
But another point that I kind of made a little bit earlier in the Rocker thing about lasting 90 minutes, I always sort of hark back to a year ago when we were considered the fittest team in the Premier League. And, you know, a couple of years ago, you think back to that Newcastle game at home, 5-2. Last 10 minutes, Pablo Hernandez coming on and we score from 2 counter-attacks of corners. We had the narrative going into that game of people saying that Leeds aren't any good at corners. We can't defend corners. We will concede. And we conceded 1 goal in that game from a corner, but we also scored 2 goals from a Newcastle corner in that game. And then last night, the way that Sinisterra is running up that pitch on his own and no one's running with him, no one's looking to offer support. I think we're a really, really, really different prospect to what we were last year. We were overtrained, but at the moment, our players don't look fit. Most of them look made of glass, or they can't last 90 minutes. And I'm not the only person that can say it. You can pick out pretty much any player in that squad. Like Cooper didn't play last night, or didn't start last night, because apparently he can't play 3 games in a week. Ayling's obviously apparently fit again, but hasn't got back into the team, whether it be at centre-back or at right-back. For me, you'd probably have him start at centre-back over Llorente. I would anyway. Firpo's been made of glass all season. Cooper has his niggles that come here and there. Rocker can't complete 90 minutes. Bamford's made of glass. Rodrigo's constantly in and out. You'd struggle to find many players other than maybe Meslier, Tyler Adams, Brendan Aronson that are actually considered someone that can play 90 minutes every game. I would have said Jack Harrison up until last night, but then obviously gets dropped. It doesn't look like we're anywhere near as fit as we were. And I think that kind of plays into the moment that I enjoyed from Sinistera. Like, the individual brilliance is great, but the fact that there was no one there supporting him, and it just looks like he was so heavily reliant. Yes, selling.
No telling, I said.
Yeah, mate.
Sinistera is my favourite player, honestly. When he gets on the ball, you feel like something's going to happen. He keeps the ball as well. He takes it in tight areas. He's got that low centre of gravity. A little bit different to Rafinha, but has that similar. He gets your hopes up, doesn't he? He gets you off the edges. You feel like something's going to happen. You know, whether it's a shot on target, you know, cross into the box. You feel like something's going to happen when he gets the ball at his feet or into space. You know, it's just interesting one. And I think he could be as good as Rafinha. I'm not going to say he's as good as Rafinha yet, because I think that's very knee-jerk, because Rafinha's one of the best footballers I've ever seen this football club have with my own eyes. You know, in terms of with my own eyes, a Leeds United game, you know, possibly even the best, actually. You know, I'm not a bit too young for the back end of the O'Leary era, you know, to really truly understand that. So, I don't know. But anyway,
how old are you?
I'm not as old as I look. All right.
I thought you were my age.
I'm a fuck.
Fuck off. You're younger than me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think.
We've been mates for a long time now. I thought I'd have known this, but tell me after how old you are.
Okay. I am younger than you, though, to be fair. Based on the age you told me, I'm quite a bit younger as well, to be fair.
You should know how old I was. It was literally my birthday, like a few days ago, and you were there.
You hit the big.
I did.
3-0. The 3-0.
Yeah.
3-0 World Cup. Anyway,
so you are younger than me then. If you're nailing the colours to the mast this much, then you must be.
No, there's nothing wrong with hitting 30, mate. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I don't know where I'm going with that. But no, seriously, there's nothing wrong with hitting 30.
I'm probably still better than half of that.
You're the one that started bringing up age. Mate. I'm not going to, okay, so Sinistera, I went 6.
We've done our...
No, actually, I'll go 5. I'm still not going out. I still refuse to go for...
No, you've got to give 6 for Sinistera. He was the only one that did anything.
Oh, no, I don't know. All right, fine. 6.
Let me have it. You don't let me have anything.
I will let you have it. Bamford.
Sorry, I'm enjoying the comments now.
And then it goes totally the other way when someone says
the dog's on the paper arm bit. Bamford, I gave a 5. You could go lower. I can understand why people will go lower. He doesn't look. It's not even fit. He just doesn't look sharp at all, and he looks lacking in confidence. And he just needs a goal to go in and to be actually counted, and for shit to start going for him. And like I said earlier, with the Llorente overhead kick, I know Llorente scoring an overhead kick was never going to happen, but the fact that it's Bamford that blocks a goal-bound attempt, it's just so Championship Bamford all over again. It screams of Championship Bamford at the minute, and like
the reason I laugh, by the way, because I like Paddy Bamford as a player, but I've just anticipating the comments coming in as soon as you mentioned Bamford. It's you get to see very differing views on it. And listen, we've all got
I still love him, and I'm glad the fans get behind him. And it's not the same toxic kind of relationship that we had with him in the Championship.
Do you feel like the opinion of him at games is a lot better than what it is like on social media? You say it about a lot of players. I feel it's the most with probably Bamford and Cooper.
Yeah, always has been with Bamford in particular. I mean, Cooper, he's always going to get what he gets, and I think it's wrong. You know, he's captained the club for the best part of most of our lives in recent memory. Like, there's not many captains that have achieved what Cooper's achieved in any of our lifetimes. So I think the stick that he gets is unfair. And the Cooperisms thing, it doesn't happen anywhere near as often as a Llorenteism does. But with Bamford in particular, yeah, I think the thing that is becoming a stick to beat him with is he had a great season. He didn't just have a good season. He had an incredible season, got himself into the England picture, but that was without fans in the stadium. And when you look back over his time at Leeds and with the relationship with the fans, as much as we've stuck by him and we've got behind him, it's one of them things where, same with the penalty, as soon as he stepped up, you never felt like he was going to score. I said at the Arsenal game, as soon as he got that penalty, he's going to miss this. And people will always use the stick to beat him with. He hasn't performed in front of a crowd. And I'd love to see him turn that round. I always had, even in the Championship, that faith in him that he was the player that made the system tick. And I still think that. I think we play a lot better. I think we create a lot more with him in the side. I just wish sometimes when the ball's going towards the goal that he wasn't stood in front of it, or that his finishing was just slightly better. He didn't make the wrong decision. And that's going to come with time. It's going to come with minutes, and it's going to come with just getting back to his best form. But we can't do that by dropping him. He needs to play, and he needs to get one that just goes in off his arse. And he's a streaky player, isn't he? Like, when he gets one, he'll get two. But when he gets none, it will continually be none for a while. That's the way he's always been. But I still love him, and I'd still way rather have £7 million Bamford in my team than £30 million Rodrigo. All day.
Well, I'll be honest, mate. I am running out of battery. I don't know if you can hear in the background. I don't know what's happening with my charger here. It's basically saying I'm plugged in, and I'm down to like 5%. So I might have to leave. I might have to finish this now. If that is okay, mate. Let's just get quick fire. Let's finish off. So, substitutions, let's run through them. Just numbers now.
I've given them all 5 apart from Rodrigo, who I gave a 4.
That is a massive... That does shock me a lot, Phil. I will be honest.
What, for trying to set up another opposition goal?
I mean, it does shock me that he gave Rodrigo a lower score.
I've been really nice about him this season, actually.
To be fair, Phil did surprise me. I spoke to him at the ground. He did surprise me with his take on Rodrigo this season. But yeah, I think Rodrigo confidence isn't where it was at the start of the season. I mean, that's probably putting it pretty fairly, I think. You know, in terms of I thought his confidence was sky high at the start of the season. Slowly kind of dropped, hasn't it, the last couple of weeks, which is a massive concern. Guys, I'm going to have to leave it there if that is okay. We're just coming up to an hour. Please smash that like button if you haven't done already. Hit the subscribe button as well. And also, just to remind you guys, we've got a fantastic prize on offer from... fantastic... Oh, just you see it coming up on the screen.
I'm just enjoying the other things you've been looking for, mate.
With football prizes for Sunday's game. Check it out in the link down below, guys. We will put that up as well, so check that out, guys. As you can see, battery is running low. I'm not just bottling this, guys. I am not just bottling this. So there you go. I have to leave it there, guys. Big thanks to Phil as always. We will have a player ratings after the Fulham game when we win that game. If we do, we'll do it anyway. But Phil might be a little bit worse for wear at that point. He's already said this, but we'll see.
Oh shit, we actually doing it after the game? Fuck.
I don't know. Maybe the day after. I think day after is probably looking favourite there.
Yeah, maybe.
I think day after is looking strong favourite. So probably we'll keep you posted. I'll do my usual post match outside the ground. I will know at that point when we're going to do player ratings, and I will let you know when we're going to do player ratings. So check out as well if you haven't done already our post match content from the game. Chris went live with a fantastic live stream. Yeah. I did a quick little post match as well, quite a depressing post match, but do check it out, guys. If you haven't done already, if you want a general take on the game, and we'll of course have our
big match preview tomorrow as well.
Big match preview as well tomorrow, guys. I don't think I can make it, unfortunately, tomorrow, but 8:30 tomorrow.
8:30, yeah.
8:30. Check that out, guys. Get ready for that. That will be going out tomorrow as well. And who have we got tomorrow guest-wise?
Got Lad and Dad and Chris, and the 4 of us are all going together to watch the misery. So
there you go. So check it out, guys. Check it out. So we'll leave it there anyway, guys. Big thanks for watching. Sorry the result can't be any better, but me and Phil had some really good, decent banter, to be fair. I've lost my head a couple of times tonight. It is what it is. We are Leeds. See you later, guys.